So, you finally made that business. Great. I love that for you. But now you're starting to get a little into it and you're starting to realize that, okay, this might be going somewhere. Well, that's great because most entrepreneurs have big dreams for their businesses, right? Big dreams mean you have hope for the future. Now, the trouble is, unless you do something about them, your dreams are just going to stay dreams. You got to be intentional about running your business in the direction you want it to go, not just letting it run you, right? Because if you aim at nothing, you're going to hit every time. So, to reach those dreams, you got to set business goals. And goals, they're going to force practical steps into your life to bring your dreams down from those clouds and turn them into reality. They're the boots on the ground that's going to make all this stuff happen. But before you dive in, you need a vision for your business. Without a vision, you could end up setting superficial goals that don't really matter to you or your dreams, right? So, that's where you need to start. Then, get your vision down on paper. Turn it into a statement, that you can use and share with the people you're working with, right? Your team, whoever they may be, right? We're going to go over some steps, some different things to set short-term goals that will move you toward your vision for your business. And we want to start off with one of the most important ones, priorities. Identify your priorities. Most business owners have a million things they want to do, right? Every day you add something else to that list, but sometimes you got to forego a little bit of progress in many areas to gain major progress in the areas that matter the most, right? The strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats analysis is a great way to identify what you need to focus on now to get closer to your vision. As you look at these things along with the time and resources you have available, you'll be able to prioritize what you need to focus on first and then tackle those things one or two at a time. Next thing that we're going to do is we're going to define what you want to accomplish. All right? Because vague goals, they're not goals at all. They're just wishes. You need to get specific about what you want to accomplish, or nothing's ever going to happen. As an example, maybe you want to make more money. Well, how much more? How do you want to do that? A more specific goal would be I want to increase revenue in my business by 10%. Now, that's something you can work with and break up into smaller goals and reach and accomplish. Okay? So, the next thing we want to talk about is going to be those key performance indicators. You need to get clear ones, right? Make your goals for your business measurable, right? You're going to do that by setting what they call KPIs, right? Key performance indicators, right? And these are just metrics that you can keep an eye on to give you an idea of your progress. Measurable progress is called traction, which is what you and your team need to see to keep the foot on the gas day in, day out, every week, every month, right? And when you can observe your movement towards your goals, it's going to get you pumped up, right? Now, you track those metrics to see how your strategy is working. If you aren't hitting the mark for your KPIs, it might mean that you need to dig your heels in or maybe try something different, right? But these performance indicators are going to let you know how well you're doing, if anything needs to change, okay? Now, one of the other things that a lot of people don't like to hear, but they need to do, is you need to set a time limit, right? You need to set a time limit, right? This is your deadline. Goals with a time limit can be broken down into micro goals to measure your progress. So, like we used an example earlier, you want to increase your revenue by 10%? Great. By when? What's the deadline? Once you have that date, you can break that goal all the way down to daily activities. And make sure your time limit is tight enough to make you and your team hustle for that goal every day, but not so realistic it's underwhelming, right? So if you wanted to increase your revenue by 10%, an unrealistic goal would be, increase revenue by 10% next week. Come on, right? But if you want to be tight, maybe you want to increase your revenue by 10%, you know, over the next 3 months, right? That's doable, and depending on your team, it could be tight. Maybe make it 2 months. Right? It just depends on your situation. One of the other things that I've seen a lot of other people talk about doing, um, I feel like it has helped me a lot. So we're gonna talk about it. Let's put it in writing, right? Because fun fact, people who regularly write down their goals earn 9 times as much during their lifetimes as the people who don't. That's crazy, right? I mean, if you want your goal to feel real, it needs to be in writing. It needs to be visible to you and your team. Don't just jot it down in a journal and then throw the journal in a drawer or a cabinet or on a desk to never be read again. You could set up a scoreboard, hang a banner, or have something designed for each team member's desk, right? Get your goal on paper on purpose. Now, one of the other things that we need to talk about is communication. It's a big deal. You need to communicate these goals to the people you're working with, to your team. When you cast a big vision, right? Right? Or when you have a big goal for your business, you got to get your team excited about it. The team needs to see what part they can play so that you're pulling people into goals instead of pushing the goal onto them. When leadership sets goals for their team without creating buy-in, they're not setting goals, they're setting quotas. Nobody likes quotas, right? You want to share the why behind the goals. To create buy-in from your team, the right hand needs to know why the left hand is doing what it's doing. And then another really big one that goes a very long way for some people is to celebrate milestones, right? I mean, it's easy to move along from one project to the next without stopping to look around at what you have accomplished, right? But that's no way to live life. Besides, what gets rewarded is what gets repeated. But seriously, when you celebrate wins, big wins, small wins, you send a signal to your brain that says the action or behavior is worth repeating in the future. So, what are you going to do to celebrate the small wins on the way to your big goal? Right? So remember, guys, goals are not wishes, dreams, or even visions. Goals bring those things down to earth and create actual, action steps to make those things come true. Right? Big goals require big backbone, and that only comes from caring deeply about the result. And when you care about the end of the story, you're going to work your way through the thick of it, and you're going to make sure, right? So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully I passed along some good information for you. If you liked it, hit that thumbs up button. If you're not subscribed to the channel, I'd appreciate it if you did. But until I see you guys in the next one, y'all be safe.